President Medvedev is preparing to head to Washington for that nuclear security summit. Before he left, I sat down with him for an exclusive interview. We covered a lot of ground: his relationship with President Obama, Iran's nuclear program, the entire problem of terrorism, but also that nuclear arms reduction treaty, which he signed with President Obama in Prague on Thursday. And I began by asking him if the differences between the United States and Russia over missile defense might sink that treaty. If the United States continues to develop missile defense in Europe, will Russia withdraw from the START treaty?
As a result of this very complicated deliberations, we got to the formula which is being included in the preambles of the treaty. That formula says there's an interconnection between the strategic offensive arms and missile defense. So if those circumstances will change, then we would consider it as the reason to jeopardize the whole agreement. That doesn't mean that because of that rule, if the American side starts to build up the missile system, the treaty would automatically lose its power. But if the other party radically multiplies the number and power of its missile defense system, obviously its defense system is indeed becoming a part of the strategic offensive nuclear forces because it's capable of blocking the action of the other side. So an imbalance occurs. And this would certainly be the reason to have a review of that agreement.
So if Russia feels this system, if it's built up, is a threat, then you withdraw.
Then we can pose the question about a premature end of that agreement. But I hope something like that would not happen.
You've now met with President Obama many times, at least 15 meetings and phone calls.
16 times.
16, okay. I knew it was 15. I wasn't sure about the 16th. What do you make of Barack Obama, the man?
He's a very comfortable partner. It's very interesting to be with him. The most important thing that distinguishes him from many other people, I won't name anyone by name, he's a thinker. He thinks when he speaks.
You had somebody in your mind, I think.
Obviously, I do have someone on my mind. I don't want to offend anyone. He's eager to listen to his partner, which is a pretty good quality for a politician. There was no instance in our meetings with Mr. Obama where he wasn't well prepared for the questions. This is very good. And after all, he's simply a very pleasant man with whom it's a pleasure to deal with.
He said very kind things about you as well. I spoke with him in Prague, and one of the most important things he said about you is that it was when I asked him who's really in charge in Russia, the question you get all the time, you or Prime Minister Putin. And President Obama emphasized that in every time he's dealt with you, you've followed through on your commitments and you've kept your word. On that subject, I'm wondering, how tired are you of getting asked the question, who's in charge in Russia, you or Prime Minister Putin?
Yes, I am a little tired. It's annoying a little. Would you like me to answer it one more time? Or are you clear on that?
Well, I know what President Obama said, and I've watched both you and Prime Minister Putin closely, and it seems like you work fairly closely together, but sometimes you speak in different ways about a similar issue. And what I really just want to get an answer to is, how does it work between the two of you? How does the relationship work?
We have a good work relationship and good personal relations. And how does that relationship work between Mr. Obama and Mr. Biden? They also sometimes speak different things. They even have different backgrounds, different biographies, and probably a different set of opinions about the world and its situation. But it does work.
I think you just answered it.
Basically, I did answer it already. But I will be happy to give you another answer. But it's totally trivial, but also very true. The decision is taken by the person who is designated to do that by law. If you consider the questions of foreign and domestic politics and defense, the security, this is only the president and no one else.
And President Medvedev now has another key decision, whether to support sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program. Do you believe Iran wants the bomb?
I don't know what Iran wants. Are they pursuing the nuclear weapon or not? I don't know, but we should carefully monitor it.
Iran's unveiling new centrifuges now.
We cannot watch without any concern how they develop their nuclear program. The question is, what's next? Are sanctions possible? Would they motivate them to proper behavior?
You know, strong majorities in the United States Congress look at the 3 sanctions regimes passed by the UN Security Council so far and say they haven't worked. And the majority say it is time now to crack down on the petroleum trade, on refined petroleum products, on gasoline. Why is that a bad idea?
It's not whether it's a good thought or a bad thought. What kind of sanctions? Sanctions should be effective, and they should be smart.
But what does that mean?
They should not lead to humanitarian catastrophe, where the whole Iranian community would start to hate the whole world. If we're talking about energy sanctions, I'll give you my opinion. I don't think on that topic we have a chance to achieve a consolidated opinion of the global community. Sanctions should not be paralyzing. They should not cause suffering.
Another common threat with the United States, terrorism. Last month, 2 female suicide bombers from the Caucasus region killed 40 people in Moscow's subways. This picture on the front page of papers all across the United States. How does this happen? And what do you do about it?
Вы знаете, это, на мой взгляд, очень печальная история.
This is a very tragic story. That woman is virtually a child. She's just 17. In order to fight such activity, you have to change the psychology of the people. You can create normal life conditions in the Caucasus. You have to destroy all of those who came here for terrorism. Those people are infiltrating through the borders.
From Afghanistan, from Pakistan.
From Afghanistan, Pakistan.
So it's the same threat the United States is facing, you're saying?
I believe this is the same threat.
We're lucky it hasn't happened in the States yet.
Вы знаете, я именно об этом.
This is exactly what I told Barack Obama yesterday. I told him, Barack, the subways are in many places, and you should take care of the transportation. This is the struggle we'll have for a long time.